so glad you could join me here today. Today we'll be doing a nice little interesting painting. I hope you could follow along with me. Now, let me run the colors across the screen that you'll need to follow along with this painting. And while they're doing that, let me tell you what I got done up here on my canvas. I know it's different. I've been wanting to do a black canvas. I have a 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, double prime, and I had 2 extra layers of black gesso. I allowed the black gesso to dry completely, and on top I added liquid clear. On top of the liquid clear, I added a mixture of phthalo blue, mountain mixture, and alizarin crimson. Put that on the top, and at the bottom I put a little bit of that color just with a little bit of white. Rather than that, it's slick, it's wet, it's ready to go. Now let's get started with today's painting. I'm gonna go into a 2-inch brush with titanium white. Just load up both sides of the brush, and let's come up here and think where our light source is and just work our way out. I think I want a nice crazy sky, like a glow. So just going to go at it, and when you're going back at it, make sure you clean your brush so you're not darkening this up, because if you keep going over one spot, it's gonna darken up. It's not gonna show up its natural light as you may want it. There we are. And just go across. Let me just work this in a bit more. There we are. Boom. Just go across, removing those brush strokes. I like to go up and down as well, but it's all up to you. And I'm going to go into a little bit more titanium white, using that corner of the brush and just working in that light spot. I really need that light spot to show. There. Just like so, you have yourself a nice little sky. Something different than before. Maybe just a little more color here. I like it getting dark over there. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Let me take my brush, my fan brush number 3, into a little bit of mountain mixture. On top of that mountain mixture, I'm going to add a little bit of sap green. So it's a mixture of sap green and mountain mixture. Just mixing up on my brush. Let's come up here. Let's decide where we want our first tree to live. Maybe here. Maybe there's another one right around there. Here. Maybe this one's big. You decide where your trees would live. There. Maybe right there. Maybe the light will show through there. Maybe right here. Maybe I'm just creating the outlines of where I want my trees to be at. There. So I just have the basic lines of where I know I want my trees to be, and just load up my brush a bit more. Now, let's come up here and just tap it. Tap out those trees. Those trees live in your brush. So all you gotta do is push them out. Tell them your new home is on the canvas, not on my brush. There. Just like so. Okay, maybe just expand this out a bit. Now, let's continue on. Just going back and forth. There. However you like to do your trees. Maybe you want the leaves to be facing upwards instead. That's completely up to you. I'm just giving you ideas and how teaching you how to paint, not telling you what to paint. That's the last thing I want to do. Trust me. I didn't like it when people were telling me what to paint. So the last thing I want to be doing myself is telling you guys what to paint. At that point, if I'm telling you what to paint, it's best for me to end the channel. I wouldn't want to put you guys through that. There. Just tapping in and just block, block, block. Block in your evergreen trees and load up your brush a bit more. There. Just loading up my brush almost before every time I go through with it. There. Maybe this one the bristles go up. What the heck? This one's special. This one's the bigger one. So we can make the bristles going up. Adds a little bit of difference to our painting. There's different trees in the same area. That happens many times. I've seen it when I go camping. I say, why are some trees with the limbs up, some trees with the limbs down? It's just how nature wants it to be. Okay, let's load up my brush and maybe right here, just I could have actually painted the trees out with some gesso and just painted over it. Could have made my life quicker. But also, there's something else of adding in that paint. And plus, it also allows you to practice. This will allow you to practice with the oil paints and all that good stuff. So just going back and forth, reloading my brush and coming up here to tap in our evergreen trees. There. You can always fix it. We don't make mistakes here. We work with them. We invite them. Helps us learn. Okay. Right here, just a little bit. And this one would be lighter since it's towards the light. So a little bit of more green. And maybe the bristles go up in this one. It's like that special tree. It's gonna grow up over there. It's gonna be like its uncle or its father. I don't know just yet. I'm just a painter. And same thing with this other tree because it's still in the light. Maybe this one also has the bristles of the trees facing upwards. There we go. Isn't that so easy to do? People say you gotta take years of classes before you can ever paint. That's not true. You can do this pretty easily. But warning, this is not traditional art. This type of art would probably never go in a museum. But it's still art. It's funny because this probably wouldn't go in a museum, but when you show it to people, they're like, wow, mesmerized of what you've done. There we are. There. Just like so. Very simple to do. I like to kind of switch it. I think for this painting, it looks good switching it up. Some trees with the leaves facing downwards and some trees with the leaves facing upwards. I think it benefits it. There we are. Look at that. We already have many trees going on. And maybe up here. Maybe this one still is part of these family. Just tap, tap, tap. Tap out your trees. If you're having difficulty painting them, it might, like, if you're good at painting trees and you're struggling with painting them, it might just be you're running out of paint. So make sure to reload your brush. Just saying, it happens to me time to time. It happens to the best of us. So just adding more black since it's going off more to the distance. Maybe this one, the limbs or the leaves of the tree would be going upwards. There we are. Just block it in. There. Isn't that so simple to do? And people see these paintings and they go, wow, that must have taken you forever. But for the painters out here, we know it took us just a couple minutes. Don't expose our secrets. That lets us sell it for more. You can always say, yep, took me 3 hours. There. Look at that. Look at that. You have yourself a nice lineup of trees. And you can also do this with a 1-inch, a 2-inch, a flat brush, filbert, basically anything you have laying around. You just have to practice and mess around with what you have. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and sharpen up the top edges of those trees. There. Just with the palette knife, just swiping up. It just makes it easier. There. There we are. It's a little trick. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab a little bit of paint thinner I have here to the side. I don't recommend using much paint thinner, but I think some situations it's needed. So I'm going to pull a little bit of titanium white off here to the side. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm dipping my brush in some paint thinner and just thinning that paint out. So make sure you get it nice and thinned out. There. It has to be like ink. Almost like ink consistency. As you can see, pretty much like ink. Now, let me put my palette off here to the side. And let me grab my palette knife. Make sure your palette knife is completely clean. And before I forget, let me add in a couple stars. Doesn't take long. And just adds a nice effect. Okay. Let me just wipe off the brush a bit. And we're back in business. Now, this paint would be too thinned out and it would make a bigger mess if I don't take it off my palette. So, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Just taking off to a palette and just wiping it off. Okay. Actually, before I move on, let me grab some of that green color and let me add some alizarin crimson just to make a nice brown color. So, sap green, mountain mixture, and alizarin crimson. And let's pick up smallest touch of white. Smallest touch. Because it's nighttime. You wouldn't see much. It's just for those little light that hits. There. There we are. Just plop it in wherever you think you would see a little branch. There. There we are. That's simple. That's simple. There. Doesn't take too much effort to do this. It just takes a little patience. Just a little bit. The last thing I have in life is patience. So for me to be able to do this and not be rushing it, it tells you something. Okay, let me go into some cadmium yellow with the same dirty brush that I used to um, block in those trees. And I'm just gonna thin out my paint with a little bit of liquid clear. Now, let me just load up my brush full with paint. Let's come up here and just highlight just a little bit. There. There we are. Covers up the tree stem. Okay. There we are. That light would be hitting it. So I'm just thinking where the light would hit. There. Okay. Just go little by little. Take your time. Don't rush it. Things don't come out the best when it's rushed. So take your time. You have all the time. If you have to, you can pause working and come back to it the next day. So you have all the time you need. Okay, maybe over here, just add a little bit of darker color just to darken it up. There. Just do that one before this one, so this one looks like it's behind. Give that illusion. And same thing over here. I want this one to be behind of this other one. There we are. And just let it blend out. Isn't that cool? How easy it is to do it. Now, going into more cadmium yellow. And just load up your brush full with paint. And just have fun at it. Let loose. Let your brush do all the work and you just enjoy the process. There we are. There. Okay. Load up my brush. There we are. Maybe that one goes in the middle. I switch things up at times. So, let me go up here. And now the light would be hitting on this side mostly. So you gotta just think about where the light would hit. Now, I gotta thin out my paint a bit more. Just a little bit so it could stick on better. There. There we are. Very lightly. Shouldn't take much pressure. There. Okay. Keep going at it. There we are. And just with the trees alone, you can have a completed painting. If you just make it the full theme, it can be a full painting. But I'm just gonna, doesn't sit right with me. I have to keep it going, add more stuff. I just came outside for a bit and I saw the sky. I said, man, I miss camping. Just going out. And I thought of a site, I don't know, where I kind of just imagined it. And I was like, yes, that's the one I'm going to paint today. People always say, I need a reference, I need this, I need that. I just need imagination. Imagination will take over for me. There. Now, let me go into my 2-inch brush with cadmium yellow and load up your brush full with paint. And since there's midnight black, since the canvas has black gesso, you don't really have to add any black underneath. You can get away with just tapping it on like so. Boom. There. There we are. That's simple and quickly. You can get yourself a nice piece of grass, nice piece of land. There. I haven't done a black canvas in a while, so being able to do one again feels nice. Little cadmium yellow and just a couple sparkles here and there. There. That looks nice. Okay, so let's go ahead. Some titanium white and the slightest touch of phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is such a strong color, so be careful how much you use. And just thinning it out with a little bit of paint thinner. Again, don't really recommend much of the use, but for this I think it's really useful. Now, let's come up here and just go at it. Have fun. There. There we are. Just pop a couple little foam spots. There. Maybe a little bit more blue. Ooh. I overdid myself, but it's okay. That little bit of blue will help tie things together a bit. There. There we are. Okay. Just very, very lightly. And so now I'm going to go ahead and grab a good old filbert brush. Just add in a little bit of black with the brown and just plop in a few little spots where I want a couple little rocks. I know it's not going to look that noticeable, but when I add in my highlights, that's when it'll pop. Okay, a little bit of white, a little bit of that brown color. Just add it onto my filbert and just there, ever so lightly. There. There we are. Okay, now let me go ahead and just add in a little dirt, just holding up that grassy area. Just a little bit. Not trying to do much here. Okay. Now let's go back to my 2-inch brush and just let's come up here and just, yeah. There we are. Just tap it and let your brush loose. All you're here for with the brush is just to direct it where you want it to go. But let the brush do all the work for you. Don't stress yourself out. Okay, so I want a big old tree. Just maybe right here. Okay, load up a little bit more paint just to get a little bit more sharper edge. There we are. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of paint thinner for my lighter color, for my lighter brown. Just a little bit. Thin it out and just add in a couple, just a brush mark of highlights, really. A little bit of midnight black and just like so. Very delicate. Now, let's go ahead. Let's add in a rock right over here. Okay? And just a little bit of dirt holding things up. Okay? Now, load up that light color and just very lightly. Don't worry too much about it. And then just add in a highlight over here. There. And some shadows, so mountain mixture. There. Okay. There. And I think with that, we have a completed painting. I really hope you enjoyed this painting and try this painting out. It was fun doing working on a black canvas. It's something different I regularly don't do, but it's really fun and it pays off so much. I really hope you enjoyed this video and try this painting out. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you, each and every one of you, for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Goodbye.